I am Wikia Colors. I did not make the Wikia skin for the Engineer, but because this is based on me, I guess I have to address this. So the Wikia Engineer is meant to make custom sentries, much like the Dark Frost Engineer. So it would have had similar units to say these sentries from the Dark Frost Engineer. Look at these custom units with the sentry tracks. Look at them tread tires. Yes, very cool. That's what was in store for the Wiki Engineer. However, if you see the Wiki Engineer now, yeah, you'll see it builds the normal Engineer, the default Engineer sentry. Obviously, not custom. So, what happens? Well, first we need to go back to the 28th of January because that's when the update happened for the content creator update. What I assumed happened was that some of the turrets that was meant to come with the Wiki Engineer wasn't finished in time. The same was true, I guess, for another content creator. I think the blue head guy, I forgot his name, I'm sorry. However, I think that's at the time when the Crookbots didn't get custom units, and I think the Wiki turret would have been the first turret to be custom made. I think, don't quote me on that. I think at the time it would have been the first turret to be a custom made skin. Now, I had assumed that the developers could have done a custom made skin because the military base had a custom made skin, that being the truck. And in fact, I'm wrong. The Gravedigger Engineer actually existed at this time, as did the Plushie and as did the Phantom Engineer skins, which had their own custom sentries. Therefore, it was not a stretch to have these sentries be added to the game. Now, these skins were actually very custom made and requested by me. Now, it may not surprise you, I requested them to be railroad related. As you can see, the wheels here, wheels here, wheels here. Well, you can't really see the wheels here, but there's a turret, and you can see like a railroad wagon with like wheels on it, plus the gun or whatever. I don't know what the gun was. I didn't actually request the gun itself, but these are the basic turrets, I assume. These are the basic, I don't know if they're the rifle or they are the something else, the normal sentries. This might be the minigunner. No, that's not the minigunner. That's the war machine sentry. That looks like the gun itself, and then the two rocket head thingies. So it looks like they've leaked the normal level 0 and then the max level turret. However, I do have pictures of the level turrets that they haven't leaked. I don't know if I can leak those. I don't know if I can leak the developmental images, bearing in mind that my skin, even because it was for the Engineer, is actually quite complicated, given that I'm not actually on the game, because the persona that I have in real life is totally different to the persona I have in the game. Like I said, this is a railroad or railway related skin because of my in real life personality. I don't play games outside of Roblox. This is meant to represent my railway life outside of YouTube. This is meant to represent the fact that I go around on trains all the time, and hence the wheels and hence the wagon type stuff. Because, like, can I really have a British train here with a gun on it? No. That'll probably get me done for copyright by British Rail, even though the entity's dead for a while. But I can have a railroad wagon that kind of looks cool, so hence why these turrets existed, and hence why I requested it to look like this. And it's acceptable. I will accept this, even though it doesn't look like a train. I will accept it as a railroad wagon. Now, I'll tell you what I had in mind for the original skins for the turret. For the basic turret, I had the Pacer in mind. Now, if you don't know what the Pacer is, good lord, I thankfully am not from the north of England. You may be able to tell from my accent. It's a basic southern accent. I don't know why people think I'm from Scotland. This is not a Scottish accent. It is a basic southern English accent. But Jesus Christ, the Pacer, from what I've heard from people up from the north, was the worst train imaginable. It was bumpy, it was noisy, it was screechy, no one liked it for more than about 30 seconds. It was quirky, yeah. So if you were, say, I don't know, from the south of England where you've got no Pacers. Well, the south did get some Pacers, but if you weren't from, say, I don't know, the Bristol area or the Penzance area, then you would never experience the torture that was a Pacer. You don't know what it was like to come from the north of England, and you had to endure this every day for your commute. And then I think the final design that I submitted for the max level Engineer turret would have been either the HST or the Azuma. I don't know which one I actually submitted, because I like the design of the Azuma, but the HST is my favourite train in the UK. I rarely have favourites. I don't like superlatives, but I do have a favourite train, and that would be the HST. Now, if you were to ask me if I prefer the Intercity 125 or the Intercity 225, Now that is a choice. Only because I have ridden the 225 so many times now that I actually quite enjoy it. Meanwhile, I've barely been on the 125. In fact, I've only been on a proper 125 like once probably in my entire life. I've been more on like the castle sets. The ones that are like 4 carriages long on GWR, and then like the ScotRail sets. They're not the proper the HST 7 carriages long. Not the cross country like stuff or the GWR like stuff or the EMT stuff. You know those stuff, the proper HSTs. Anyways, this is not a train spotting channel. I'm not a proper train spotter. I just like the railways. I like some bits of the railways. I'm not a fanatic for trains. I just knew some bits and bobs about trains. I can't tell you like, oh yeah, the bogies of this train are like this and this and that, but still, right? This is what the original designs for the turret were based on. And then we get this design and this design from that. However, it was not the case where these were added. Unlike that blue head crook boss skin, which I forgot the name. I just remember it as the blue head big head skin. I forgot. Now, people have asked the developers, I do remember this, about the Wiki Turret skin. I don't know if it was Tyler out of Bears or Jace, the person who made the skin, who commented to the person, because it was someone, I do remember. I don't know if it was on Twitter, I don't know on Discord. I just remember someone did comment it, and the developer in question said that they would eventually add it. The problem is that they were busy with other stuff, and that's why I assumed that they were busy adding other stuff. They were prioritizing other stuff because this is just purely cosmetic. However, this has become so in demand by people, not by myself. I don't really necessarily care too much. Again, I have a life outside of YouTube. YouTube is like, it's there. Like, yes, it's there as like a passion hobby, but I can live without it. Some people really want this custom turret for some reason. I don't know why, but they want it. So all I know is that the developers haven't cancelled it. They are slightly vaguely aware of the skin from this turret. However, because they're busy with other stuff and because this is just purely cosmetic, they are not prioritizing this. It's somewhere in their roadmap, probably. And probably because I've made a video on it, they'll probably now prioritize it. Because whenever I make a video on something, they somehow, for some reason, look at it and say, right, we're going to put this to the top of the priority list, either because I've made a big deal out of it or something's happened. People have just created a commotion about it and caused the developers to change their course or whatever. Either that or someone at Paradoxian Games has someone dedicated to just watch my videos and then all of a sudden change their course based on what I say. So anyone watching at Paradoxian Games, can we fix the pumpkin militant so that it actually comes from the pumpkin crate now, please? Please. But no, the Wicked Turret skin is not cancelled, I don't think. It's just that it will probably be the same case as like some of the maps in the game. Like, I'm pretty sure we're still waiting on a Nether rework, and that was made way before the Wiki Turret skin. So, like, we can calm down with Wiki Turret skins when we still haven't got a Nether remake, okay? Yeah. Efficiency is the developer's middle name, aka there is no E in TDS. Below Natural adds maps whenever he feels like it. So whenever the turret, whenever the Wiki Turret feels like it's going to get its own custom skins, it will get its own custom skins. And if that requires for me to make a video on it, then that's what's required. It's like a couple of days after my birthday. So developers, yeah, just for the sake of my birthday, can you add it? I mean, again, I don't really care about my birthday, so you know, you don't have to. You can just deny me on the spot. So go ahead if you want, but no. But no, it's gonna remain cancelled content for now, or unreleased content, which is gonna be kind of cool though. And one last thing for me to say: choo choo, motherfucker.